Hey guys, welcome back to Doing It DIY. If you're new here, my name's Allison. Welcome. I can't wait for us to DIY together. Today I have three super easy, definitely affordable Dollar Tree and Dollar General farmhouse inspired DIYs that I hope you're going to like. They are some of my favorites that I have made in quite some time. If you'd like to recreate them, everything you need to complete the projects is listed in the description box below to make it a little easier for you. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, I hope that you will. If you like these DIYs, please give me a big thumbs up so that I'll know that you do, so that I can make more just like this to share with you guys. We are going to start out with a very easy project that has a big bang. And it is something that I've wanted to make for a while, and I've been looking for the right combination of things to do it, and I finally found it. So this is everything we need on the screen to complete this project. This is the easiest one of the three, I promise you. We're going to start out with one of these signs from the Dollar Tree. And I usually use the bigger, longer signs, but I was looking for something a little smaller, and this worked out perfectly. We are just going to start by removing that hanger and then removing the string that connects these two signs together, as well as the staples. And it is going to leave some holes in the wood. So I took a little bit of wood filler and just my finger and filled those in. It was super easy to do. And I set that to the side and let it dry. Not a big deal, totally easy. Now we are going to take a couple of these bamboo, a slotted spoon, and what is this? A turner? I said spatula in the description box, same thing. And we are going to paint them with some FolkArt metallic sterling silver. I end up adding something else because I think it's too silver, too flat, too one color. But we're just going to go ahead and give it at least one coat of this. You can use any wooden utensils that you want to use. That's just the two that I chose. And then I'm just going to take a sanding block from the Dollar Tree and sand down that wood filler. And then I'm going to take a combination, no, not a combination, not yet. I'm going to go ahead and take some Apple Barrel Classic Caramel and paint over these signs. You can see the wood filler through it. That's perfectly okay because we're actually going to do a faux wood technique, and that actually is not seen at the end, and it's totally fine. Once we've painted that, we're going to go ahead and take some Dollar Tree medium-sized craft sticks, and we are just going to hot glue those on the back, quite a few of them, to hook the two signs together. And it's quite sturdy. Now we're going to take Waverly Antique Wax and a regular paintbrush, and we are going to paint the entire sign. Trying to make sure that you do even strokes from one end to the other because we're looking for a faux wood grain, and that's really going to help us achieve that. You can also swirl the brush a little bit. You can swirl it in the places where the wood filler was. It turns out looking amazing, and I was honestly shocked by how well it works, but I love the way it turned out. It turned out really well. You just see that I'm turning the brush, kind of giving it the little knots that you would normally see in wood. And then you're going to put that to the side and let it dry. We're going to sand it down a little bit later, which is going to make it look even more like wood. And you can see the wood filler through that. That's perfectly okay. I promise you, in the end, you're not going to be able to see it at all. And then you see our spoons, our spoon and our turner, or our spatula. So then I went ahead and took some metallic FolkArt gunmetal gray and a makeup sponge and just dabbed it all over the two utensils. Just like if I were making this faux galvanized steel, I would do that. And then I, of course, took some chocolate bar from Apple Barrel and that same makeup sponge and just made it rusty looking. This is my favorite paint to make things look old and rusty, to help with that farmhouse kind of look, kind of vibe. Then we're going to take that same sanding sponge and go ahead and go over the entire sign, on the edges, the top, the bottom, all over the entire thing. It honestly helps give that impression of wood grain, and I love the way that this turned out. It was so easy, so simple, but it really does make a big impact to sand it down. And then we're just going to take some hot glue and glue the utensils onto our sign. totally easy. And you want to get a good amount of hot glue so they don't pop off. I had that happen and I had to glue it back. So definitely a good amount of hot glue. And then I just went ahead and cut out the letters EAT on my Cricut. I just used one of the free fonts that was already there. I think I made them 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches long. I'm really bad with, you know, width and length and all that, but they're 3.5 inches long. I'm not sure how wide they are. But if you put that in as the length, the width will just do its thing. And we are just going to, I use silver vinyl. I just got my Cricut, so this is all totally new to me. So I want to do something super easy. So I just put those on there. I do end up using that chocolate bar in the end and putting a little bit of faux rust on the letters too. And it really, really, really gave it a little something that it needed. We're just going to take some jute twine and some small craft sticks and make a hanger on the back of this, and that's all there is to it. Next up, project number 2. It is my favorite of the 3. I love this. I made this little tray from some Dollar Tree signs a while back, and if I can find them again, I'm going to make it for you guys because it's so cute. I love it. I found these cute little milk bottle looking glass bottles, I guess, at the Dollar Tree, and I thought definitely I want to make a cute little centerpiece for my living room table using these. So I'm just going to start out with some Apple Barrel Snow White, and I'm going to paint. I'm going to give 2 coats of paint to each one of those glasses on the outside. I tried it on the inside. It was a little bit hard, so we did it on the outside. And then once that's dry, I'm just going to take that same sanding sponge and go here and there on the glasses and just rough it up a little bit. Make it look old. And that's my little tray. I really wish I had filmed that so you guys could see, but I'm going to try to find the signs again so I can make it. Then I'm just taking some lavender and some eucalyptus and cutting a few sprigs of each off. And I'm going to put the lavender in the middle and the eucalyptus on both ends, and it turns out absolutely adorable. We're going to add a little bit more to it too, but if you wanted to stop here, you totally could. Love it. And then we're just going to take some jute twine. What I did was tie just a simple little bow on the 2 at the end, and then I took some jute twine and wrapped around the one on the middle. Now, my Dollar Tree has some great things. They're expanding our craft section. I'm so excited. I found some of these rub-on transfers, and I use them in a couple little things here. These wooden gift tags I found at the Dollar General. They were on clearance, and they had all different sizes. So I wanted to add something to the middle vase. So what I did is take some of that Apple Barrel Classic Caramel and Apple Barrel Chocolate Bar and a little bit of water and made a DIY stain. I'm really loving this. I use it twice in this video. And if you know me, you know that jet black and brown oxide are my favorite. This might be my new favorite. I love it. So you just put that on there, wipe it off with a paper towel, let it dry. Easy. Now we're just going to cut out the word joy from these rub-on transfers. I love them. I have so many. I'm going to do a Dollar Tree haul next week for you guys because I have so much new stuff. It's crazy. And we are just going to put that on. I will tell you this, that it does require quite a bit of rubbing. I'm just using my little Cricut, I don't know what that's called, little thing from my Cricut, and rubbing it on there. But you can use a credit card, anything just to get it on. Be very, very patient because my O kind of pulled up a little bit, but it's definitely doable. Then I just hook it to that jute twine on the middle, and I love this. It's so cute. I have this on my coffee table in my living room, and it is adorable. I love it. Very spring. All right, and our last project is this super cute little house that totally reminds me of my barn I made a while back. I'll link that above if you want to check that out, but it definitely has barn vibes. And I found this little sign at the Dollar General. They have a lot of really cute stuff out right now too that I'm going to be working with soon. So if you guys get to your Dollar General, check that out. It was only $1. We are going to tape up the metal roof, and then we're just going to give it a couple coats. It took at least 2 coats to cover the words of Snow White apple barrel paint. And then we're just going to measure 2 lines and draw them out because we're going to make it look like shiplap. You know, I make everything look like shiplap. And all we're doing is measuring it and drawing those lines on so that we can paint them. Mine are never straight. That's okay. I think that shiplap should not be perfect. My lines aren't perfect when I draw them. The paint lines aren't, there was my head. The paint lines are never, ever straight. And that's okay because I think the more imperfect the shiplap is, I honestly think the better it looks in the end. But we're just taking some jet black, again from Apple Barrel, and we are going down those lines and just coloring them in. You guys, my voice is so raspy. I have not slept very well for the past few days. My stepfather passed away at the beginning of the week, so it's been a really rough week. So I'm very raspy and I'm so sorry. I sound like I've smoked 6 packs of cigarettes. So I'm sorry about that. Once we have those lines on and they are dry, we're just going to take some more of that Snow White paint and just a dry brush and not a lot of paint and just kind of go over those lines to not cover them up, but to help mute them a little bit so they're not so in your face. And then we're going to take a combination of Waverly chalk paint and mineral, Apple Barrel jet black, and Apple Barrel chocolate bar, a very dry brush, and a light hand, and just very lightly distress that little house. I think it's a birdhouse. I think that's what it's supposed to be, but I'm just going to call it a little house. But we're just distressing just like you see me doing here. You can add as much or as little as you want. In a little bit, I do go back with the white and go over it some to kind of tone it down and mute it out a little bit because I kind of got carried away with the distressing like I always do. But, yeah, so do what feels right to you here. You don't have to add the distressing at all. You don't have to add the lines at all. Totally make it your own. I just like to show you how I did it. So if you want to replicate it, you can easily do that. And then I'm just taking some tumbling tower blocks. I'm using 8 of those. I'm making 2 little lines of 4. And we're going to make a base for this to sit on. It does have that little wire hanger, and you could totally hang it if you wanted to. My voice. I feel like I'm going to lose my voice, which is not great for doing YouTube voiceovers. I'm so sorry, guys. But we're just making 2 lines of 4 of those tumbling tower blocks. And then we're going to glue them both together. Again, this is our base. And I went back and forth about how I should make the base for this. I didn't know if I wanted it to sit down in it so it could be taken apart easily, or if I wanted it to be glued. In the end, I decided to glue it, and I was happy with that. But you can do whatever you want here. I'm just going to take some jet black from Apple Barrel and paint the entire base. And then I do have 2 other tumbling tower blocks I use as a brace for behind it that I go ahead and paint black as well. And then I'm just taking a boxwood pick that I got from Walmart. I think it was 97 cents. And I'm just cutting one little sprig of that apart. And we're just making a very crude little wreath with that to go around the top of our little house. Now I'm using another one of those little gift tags that are wooden. I love these. They're so cute. I just cut the little hole off that would make it a gift tag. You see me, I'm using some scissors. I did it in real time so that you could see that it's totally easy. I couldn't find my X-Acto knife. I've got to go get another one. But I just used scissors and scored it a couple of times. They're very thin. It broke off super easily, super clean. No issues there. I love these little gift tags. I wish they had had more, but they were on clearance, so And they are all different sizes and shapes, which I thought was super cute. And once we have that broke off, we're just going to go ahead and sand it so that it's smooth. And then I'm going to use that same combination of classic caramel and chocolate bar and a little bit of water, and we're going to stain it again, wipe it down, and let it dry. And then we're going to use those rub-on transfers again. I just used Welcome and Home, and you see just me rubbing over them. Like I told you before, it does take quite a bit of rubbing, so don't skip on that part, because the worst thing in the world is trying to cut that apart because there's so many words all jumbled together, and then ripping it off and tearing up a couple of your letters and then having to get something else. Just take your time and be patient. I promise you they'll come off and it'll look great, but you gotta take your time. They have so many new rub-on transfers. I was so excited when I went there tonight and found all this stuff. Again, this just says welcome home. And it's so cute. It turns out adorable. And we're just going to go ahead and take some hot glue and glue it onto the base of our house. And I put it a little off center because I thought putting it in the middle would make it look like a door, and that's not what I was trying to do at all. And I kind of love it off to the side like that. And then we're just going to take that little hanger and push it down. I didn't take it off in case I wanted later on to hang it up. And we're just going to run a bead of hot glue along the bottom of our house and attach it to our base, and then put those two pieces of tumbling tower blocks behind it to kind of give it a little bit of support, and that's all there is to it. And that's it, you guys. How cute is that? I hope you love these DIYs. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have not subscribed, I hope that you'll consider subscribing so that we can DIY together. Until next time, you guys. Bye-bye.